Up next, I got the news of Baker yelling at his wide receivers. Now, 2 weeks ago, I did a similar topic, but it was with Baker doing something else leadership-wise. And again, the story gets a lot of attention because this is Baker Mayfield with the Browns, and the Browns have a new head coach. They have a new system. Whether or not Baker will continue to flourish as he did in his rookie year, so a lot of attention gets drawn to it. If it was like Mitchell Trubisky that did this, probably not a lot of attention. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about why he yelled at his wide receivers and why he called them out. So the story goes that it was a scrimmage and he was running out. He was scrambling, and what the Browns usually do on a scramble play is they go high, middle, low. High, middle, low. All across the football field to spread out the defense 10. But what ended up happening is that the receivers didn't do that. They didn't come back to him so that he could make a throw. So they were doing their own thing, freelancing, but not in the way that the Browns wanted them to help Baker Mayfield. And that led to Baker shooing out the wide receivers, saying, and he talked about it after the fact in a press conference. He said, it's just the fact that if we get lazy and let things slide, we need to be open to communicating right now. And most importantly, what he said is, that's what the good teams do. That's what the good teams do. I'm going to talk about my start on the podcast. I started off, and I believe this has some correlation to what Baker is doing right now. I started off figuring out what type of host am I? Am I going to be like Colin Cowherd, where I'm Mr. Analogies? Am I going to be drawing comparisons here and here and here, like I'm doing right now? Or am I going to be like Nick Wright, where I have all these analytics, all these stats, all that stuff? Or am I going to be Mr. Storyteller, talking about the narrative, talking about the story of each player? Am I going to be like Shannon Sharp with all these different weird backstories that he talks about of his? What type of personality am I going to be on camera? But I realized that I can't try to be that. I can't be like Stephen A. and just get angry about everything. I can't be like Max Kellerman and have this kind of analytic look at things. I can't be like that. That's not me. So I ended up becoming my own person. I found out I have to be my own person, and I have to work on that. And I still do have to work on that. But that's what Baker's trying to do right now. Mind you, this is his first time in training camp with the number ones, with the first strings. Because last year, when he was in training camps, he had to work with the backups, the second string, the third string, so on and so on and so on. Which is why he developed a really good timing with Rashard Higgins. And he wants to do that with Odell, Jarvis Landry, Higgins again, some other wide receivers on that squad, David Njoku, different players. He wants to develop that timing because his game is not predicated on his athleticism. It's not predicated on his size because he's not very big. It's more predicated on his skill, his ability to throw the ball, his rocket arm, his precision, his timing, and he needs that timing in order to be great at what he does. And right now, he's trying to figure out how to motivate the team to do what he wants to do. He's trying to figure out what type of leader he is. And we all know that he's not that Tom Brady sort of leader. He's not that Aaron Rodgers sort of leader. He's trying to develop his own sort of leadership, again, in his first time being with the first stringers in training camp. But my only problem with this sort of calling out the wide receivers is that maybe know your audience. Know your audience. I know that probably Jarvis Landry can handle it because he wants to win. I know probably Nick Chubb can handle it. I know, even though he's a running back, I know that Rashard Higgins probably can handle it. My only question is, can Odell Beckham handle it? And at that point becomes know your audience. Whether you're going to have this really angry outlook and be like, yeah, you guys gotta come back, or if you're going to be more calm and more like, hey, maybe next time, help me out here and come back to Odell. But I think that even though it's my question, whether or not Odell can handle that intensity, I believe it all should be well. I believe that Baker knows Odell, Jarvis, David Njoku, Nick Chubb well enough, and has enough chemistry with them over this past offseason that he can say this stuff to them and they'd be all right with it. And they'd be able to handle it and move on and do it as he says. And for those of you that want your prototypical starting quarterback, like people like you, such as Colin Cowherd, who want your prototypical starting quarterback who, doesn't let his emotions out, has a still head, straightforward, doesn't really get upset, talks to wide receivers nicely, all that stuff. Let me bring you back to 2013 when Tom Brady did the exact same thing, calling out his wide receivers, yelling at them, throwing a fit on the field in 2013 against the New York Jets. Now, they did win that game. I believe it was 13-10 in 2013, but it was with unexperienced wide receivers, and he just expressed frustration. He was throwing his arms. He was yelling. Look it up. Just look up Tom Brady yells at wide receivers against the Jets, and you'll see it. Julian Edelman was there still, and he did it. He did all of it. And that's Tom Brady, one of the best leaders in the game, and who we look to as the prototypical leader, what we want our NFL quarterbacks to be like. And he did that same thing in 2013. Now, of course, afterwards he did lament it and say, hey, I gotta have better body language. But that's kind of what Baker did, again, by clarifying his intentions, by showing out his wide receivers, by saying, hey, I just want to make sure that we got the timing down. I just want to make sure that we're not lazy and that we are doing what good teams do and that we can put ourselves in the best chance to win. So I don't have a problem with him yelling at his wide receivers at all. I understand that he's a different type of leader, and I accept that. I'm not going to try to force him to be someone he's not. And what he is great. He is great.